Okay. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I am not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of the case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Finally, would everyone please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's begin with the ladies.
Alan? No.
Judge, you want to start with them now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
No, we're gonna start with
Okay,
Ms.
all right.
Allen. All right, Ms. Allen. Mr. Taylor, you fine? She right here. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna lower it down for you.
Ms. Allen,
Yes,
good morning, ma'am. You've been charged with one offense of criminal trespass, family violence. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
no, sir.
Okay. Would you?
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, but I may require help.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes,
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. You should contact the several bonding companies that are allowed or authorized to write bonds in this county. That is literally their only job is to help people get out of jail. So they may place you on a payment plan. They may do things to work with you. Okay.
yes.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Motion, Daisy.
Yes, it's come right here. Thank you.
Are you Miss Cushion?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of battery. The bond is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Tommy Lee Thompson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. As I told the individual before you, you should contact the bonding companies and tell them your bond amount and see what they're willing to do to help you bond out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you. Okay.
Are you Ms. Hawkins?
Yes,
Ma'am, you charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, one count of possessing a dangerous drug in a container that is not the original container, and one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're gonna have a total bond set at $8,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
yes,
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Hawkins. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. James.
Ms. James, you're charged with one count of driving a vehicle on a suspended license. The bond is automatically set at $1,500 for that. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Through a bond company, yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
Okay, you're gonna hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Miss Jinks?
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with one count of battery and one count of cruelty to children in the first degree. I've dismissed the cruelty to children in the first degree charge. So you just have the battery charge that's remaining. The bond for that is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Jenks. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you know where your child is now?
No. No.
Okay, I'm not placing a stay away provision on this bond because of the age of your child. This is something that may get referred over to juvenile court. I don't know.
She needs to be in juvenile.
Okay. Okay. So do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
Where's my son?
I don't know. I don't know. I only know about your daughter because she's listed as a victim in this particular case. It concerned me when I looked at the information because at least the age of your daughter, she's too young to be at home by herself.
She never been. She never been at home by herself. Never. I don't play that.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
She never at home by herself.
Well, no, ma'am. I understand that. I know the police would not leave her there by herself, but there's no indication as to what they did with her. In these types of situations, sometimes they will get referred over to juvenile court rather than to arrest the mother and bring her in on this allegation. So I contacted some people over in juvenile court as to whether it was appropriate to put a stay away provision on this or not. And because of the advice that I was given, I'm not placing a stay away provision on this, but it ultimately will most likely get referred over to juvenile court. Okay?
Okay.
All right, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Ms. Maddox?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of computer forgery and 1 count of theft by deception. These are both felony offenses. I've set a total bond at $40,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, Ms. Maddox. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. If you're able to post a bond, that date will be waived and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
There's more?
Oh,
Yes, you can.
Ma'am, would you spell your first name for me?
ALAJE.
Okay. Ma'am, Ms. Moore, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, and the bond is going to be set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Rayfield Cross. He's also going to have a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from you. So I know the two of you live together, and this is something where the two of you would have to contact the solicitor's office to have this provision modified or changed. It's placed on your bond so that whatever incident that led to the two of you being arrested and come before me today, that situation does not just re-arise later this afternoon. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Tanya Pinker?
Ms. Pinkert, you're charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle on expired or invalid tag and 1 count of driving a vehicle with a suspended license. You're gonna have a total bond set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have done with the female.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Toles, you have perfect timing.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. The person that we need your services for, his name is listed as Alberto Garcia Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, I have him up on the list.
Okay. Deputies, could we do Mr. Martinez first? Mr. Martinez, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor Martínez, ¿usted puede oír y entender a la intérprete?
Sí.
Señor Martínez, ¿puede usted oír y entender a la intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of allowing an unlicensed person to drive.
Señor Martínez, a usted se le acusa de una infracción de permitir una persona que no tiene licencia manejar.
1 count of
Yes.
giving your false name, address, or date of birth.
Una infracción de dar un nombre, dirección o fecha de nacimiento falso.
And 2 counts of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight.
Y 2 infracciones de conducir un vehículo con luces delanteros defectuosas. Yes, yes.
This hearing that we're going through now is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Esta audiencia que se está llevando a cabo es su comparecencia inicial en la sala menor del Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
I am not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case.
No estoy aquí para llevar a cabo un juicio en su causa, tampoco para tomar su declaración a acusaciones.
I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you,
Estoy acá para informarle de las acusaciones formuladas en su contra,
to advise you of certain rights,
para informarle de ciertos derechos,
to set bail on the offenses that I'm authorized to set bail,
para imponerle fianza por las acusaciones, las cuales tengo la autorización de imponerle fianza,
to schedule a preliminary hearing,
para programar su audiencia preliminar
and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y también, señor, para determinar si usted requiere el asesoramiento de un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Usted tiene derecho a permanecer callado sin decir nada.
But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial.
Pero si usted renuncia a ese derecho, cualquier cosa que diga se puede usar en su contra si el caso procede a juicio.
So please don't discuss the facts of your case.
Así que, por favor, señor, no hable de los hechos de su caso.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante esta diligencia y cualquier diligencia futura, tendrá los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
El derecho a ser presunto inocente.
The right to an indictment by grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
El derecho a que se le formule una acusación formal por el jurado de indagación cuando se trata de delitos graves o que proceden en su contra con una acusación general cuando se trata de delitos menores.
All of the charges pending against you currently are misdemeanors.
Todas las infracciones en su contra actualmente son delitos menores.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Usted tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un jurado.
The right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
El derecho a ver, a escuchar y a interrogar los testigos convocados a declarar en su contra.
The right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
También tiene derecho de obligar la presencia o comparecencia de testigos para que declaren a su favor.
The right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
El derecho de presentar testimonio en su propia defensa o presentar pruebas.
The right to have an attorney represent you.
El derecho a un abogado que lo represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si usted no pudiera costear un abogado, se le podría designar uno de oficio si usted cumple los requisitos.
Your current bond is set at $3,500.
Actualmente tiene una fianza impuesta, $3,700, Your Honor.
$3,500.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Actualmente tiene una fianza impuesta de $3,500.
You can post this bond in 3 ways: cash, commercial, or property.
Usted puede depositar esa fianza en una de 3 maneras: con efectivo, con una compañía de fianzas o con la garantía de un inmueble.
If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office.
Si va a depositar su fianza en efectivo, alguien tendría que entregar el total de la fianza más las tarifas correspondientes a la cárcel.
The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of your case.
La comisaría del sheriff guardará los fondos y los devolverá cuando se concluya el caso.
If you use a commercial bonding company, you will have to pay a fee to the company for their service.
Si utiliza una compañía comercial de fianzas, tendrá que pagarle una tarifa de servicio a tal compañía.
The fee will not be returned.
Esa tarifa no se le devuelve.
I do not know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond amount.
Yo no sé exactamente la tarifa que le van a cobrar, pero suele basarse en un porcentaje de la fianza.
If you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond.
Si va a utilizar un inmueble para garantizar su fianza, entonces tal propiedad tiene que contar con un patrimonio neto de por lo menos 3 veces el valor de la fianza.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de una audiencia preliminar es para determinar si existe motivo fundado para apoyar las acusaciones en su contra.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred.
Para que el juez determine si un caso sigue adelante en esta etapa judicial, solamente tiene que determinar que sí es posible que se cometió el delito.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Todos pueden renunciar a tener la audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, debería consultar con un abogado si no está seguro si debería renunciar o no la audiencia preliminar.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si deposita fianza, la audiencia preliminar quedará renunciada automáticamente.
You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date.
Usted recibirá notificación de su próxima cita judicial en la dirección o domicilio que deja registrado.
Mr. Martinez, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Señor Martínez, quisiera que yo viera si usted reúne requisitos para un abogado de oficio. Yes.
You do qualify, Mr. Martinez. I'm appointing a lawyer to represent you.
Usted sí cumple los requisitos, señor Martínez, así que voy a nombrar un abogado de oficio para usted.
You have a preliminary hearing date currently set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning.
Actualmente, su audiencia preliminar se señala para el 18 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you will receive a new court date in the mail.
Esta audiencia quedará renunciada una vez que usted deposita fianza y sale, y luego le llegará por correo su próxima cita judicial.
Do you believe you can post a bond of $3,500?
¿Piensa, señor, que usted va a poder depositar la fianza de $3,500?
No tengo dinero ahorita.
I don't have money right now.
I would encourage you, Mr. Martinez, to contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds in this county.
Yo entonces le sugiero que se comunique con las compañías fiancistas que tienen la autorización de emitir fianzas en este condado.
Your business. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Perdón, señor, adelante, ¿qué dice? May the interpreter ask him to repeat again? I think I'm having some trouble with the audio. ¿Puede
Yeah.
repetir, señor, perdón?
¿Cuál sería la opción si no me agarro un bono y no tengo el dinero? ¿Es el tiempo aquí?
What would be the next court date if I can't pay the bond?
If you can't pay the bond, currently your next court date is May 18th.
Si no pudiera pagar la fianza, entonces su próxima cita judicial está programada para el 18 de mayo.
If you waive your preliminary hearing, it is possible to get an earlier court date. However, I have no control over that.
Si usted renuncia a la audiencia preliminar, es posible que le dé una audiencia con más prontitud. Sin embargo, no tengo control de qué fecha sería.
Yo creo que lo más seguro sería eso, porque no tengo dinero.
I will most certainly do that because I don't have money.
Okay. Deputies, do you have a waiver form over there for Mr. Martinez?
No, sir.
Agentes de la cárcel, ¿acaso ustedes tienen el formulario de la renuncia a la audiencia para el señor Martínez? No, su señoría.
Okay, what I'll do is I will prepare a blank waiver form that I'll email over to you. Which deputy should I email it to?
Email it to Sergeant Riley and I did.
Okay. I'll email it to Sergeant Riley and just have Mr. Martinez stand by to sign the waiver form.
Okay.
Entonces, lo que voy a hacer es enviar un formulario para la renuncia a la audiencia preliminar al sargento Riley, ahí en la cárcel, para que usted lo firme, señor.
Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Martinez?
Señor Martínez, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta más para mí? No, thank you.
Okay, stand by. They're going to give you a form to sign and then they will send you back.
Muy bien, señor. Esté pendiente, le van a entregar un formulario para que firme y luego después se puede retirar. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Tolles.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Okay, give me 1 second, sir.
the sergeant is, he got that, big one
For what?
from Martinez. It's, he'll know about the judge sent it to him. If you check his email.
What is that for? Martinez for?
To waive his preliminary. It's
Oh,
waive-
is this going here?
Where's that?
Oh, I thought you were Shit. There you go.
Mr. Muhammad found one, you can fill it out now.
Hey, Your Honor.
Yes, I just emailed the form to Sergeant Riley.
We also have a copy of it here as well.
Oh, you do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, have him sign that and then just send it over to me and I'll sign it.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll have it once we done.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. You Mr. Burdine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you're charged with several sex-related offenses. Do you understand what you're charged with?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're charged with one count of trafficking of a person, basically sex trafficking a person, one count of prostitution or pimping, and one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce.
I don't understand the charges, Your Honor. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so the allegation is that you and Ms. Stevens enticed this young lady to move down to Georgia for the purpose of engaging in prostitution. Ms. Stevens appeared before me yesterday. Based upon the affidavits, they indicated that they spoke to you and you indicated that you knew that the victim was underage, but you said that it was Ms. Stevens that was engaging in the activities of basically pimping her out. The detectives believe otherwise. So they've charged you with the trafficking, sex trafficking, and I believe that was the same charge that Ms. Stevens received on yesterday. And they've also charged you with prostitution and pimping and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. So I'm not saying for you to agree to this because this is not the time where you're guilty or innocent, but those are the allegations that are being levied against you. Do you understand that?
No, I don't. I don't know what it is.
What do you not understand, Mr. Burdine?
I don't understand the charges. I don't know what human sex trafficking is. I don't know what pimping is. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so how old are you, Mr. Burdine?
22.
And you're from Michigan, is that correct?
I was born in Michigan, but I'm from Memphis.
Okay, and you're telling me you don't know what prostitution and pimping is?
No, Your Honor. I don't know what human sex trafficking is. I don't know what prostitution and pimping is. I'm completely.
Okay. So prostitution is when a woman sells her body for money. Pimping is when a person has another individual sell their body for money.
I still don't understand. I don't know what that is.
Okay, so do you want me to read the charges?
I thought you read them to me already.
You said you don't understand. I told you to label. I can tell you what the allegation is if you want me to. My job is to make sure that you understand. If you want me to read these charges, I will read these charges.
Is that my lawyer?
No, sorry.
It's okay, Mr. Weathers. Do you have a lawyer?
Court appointed. I suppose that they had a court appointed attorney.
Okay. So these charges were sworn out on March 30th, which is 2 days ago. Okay? So if you're telling me you don't understand, it's my duty to make sure that you understand. And the only way I can do that is by reading the charges to you. Do you want me to read the allegations to you?
I'm not sure I'm not sure I'm gonna understand after you read it, but we can try it. We can try it. And I can see if I understand.
Okay. So for the possession of marijuana less than an ounce, the allegation is that on February 3rd, during the execution of a search warrant, that they found less than an ounce of marijuana at the incident location. They said that you were upstairs in the bedroom for an hour and 45 minutes with a standoff with the Clayton County Police Department. Does that sound familiar to you?
That's not, the details are off. It wasn't February the 3rd, it was February 16th.
Okay. But do you understand that?
What is it that I'm supposed to be understanding?
That was possession of marijuana less than an ounce.
Okay.
So the next charge is pimping a person under the age of 18 years old. It says on February 3rd at this apartment complex that you did unlawfully offer to procure a prostitute under the age of 18, Miss Mitchell, for money or receive money or other things of value without lawful consideration, knowing it was earned in whole or in part from prostitution. And that using Facebook and the internet, that sexual meetings were arranged at this Old Mill Court address in College Park with different men for the purpose of sex and sexual favors from the victim. So do you understand that?
No, sir, Your Honor. I don't understand.
What do you not understand?
I don't understand what pimping is. I don't understand what prostitution is. I don't understand what.
So, Mr. Burdine, do you recall me telling you what prostitution is? What did I say?
You said what did you say?
What did I tell you prostitution is?
Can you say it again?
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
All right. Prostitution is when a lady sells, or a man sells, their body for sex in exchange for money. Can you repeat that to me?
I don't understand what that is, Your Honor.
Can you repeat that to me?
I don't understand what that is, Your Honor.
What do you not understand? Can you repeat that to me?
But
What I just said, can you repeat that? Are you able to repeat it?
Excuse me, Your Honor. By me repeating that, that kind of justifies that I understand what it means, and I don't understand it, Your Honor.
How is that justifying? If I asked you to repeat a definition to me, how does that say that you understand it?
I think this officer right here want me to go last. I think he want me to go last because I'm taking.
Okay, we'll let you go last because you're holding everything up, and I want you to just think about it. Have you ever had sex, Mr. Burdine?
Yeah, I have a daughter. I have a daughter.
Okay, so if you were paid to have sex, that's prostitution. If you had sex and got up and took some money away from that, that's prostitution.
I still don't understand what prostitution is.
All right, we'll come back to you, Mr. Burdine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Weathers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who are you representing, sir?
Judge, I represent Jose Rodriguez Acosta.
Okay.
All right, come on.
And I'm sorry, are you Mr. Cross? Mr. Cross, I'm gonna do you real quick and then we'll bring up Mr. Rodriguez Acosta. Mr. Cross, sir, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? I've also put a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from an J. Moore. I've also placed a stay away provision on her bond to stay away from you. Do you understand that? You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry, Mr. Cross? Okay, I'm gonna find that you qualify, Mr. Cross. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Could we have Mr. Acosta Rodriguez?
Jose Rodriguez Acosta.
Okay. Mr. Rodriguez Acosta. I normally would speak to you, but since you have an attorney, I'm going to speak to your attorney. You need to be aware that anything that you may say during this hearing will be heard by everybody, and there's no privilege that attaches to it. So please don't say anything that you don't want the whole world to know. You understand that? Okay. Hold on. Let me get his paperwork, Mr. Weathers. Okay. Mr. Rodriguez Acosta is charged with improper lane change. The bond for this is set by schedule at $500. I will listen to whatever you want to say to me, Mr. Weathers, about Mr. Rodriguez and bond.
Judge, obviously he should be able to be released. This is a case that's really concerned me, Judge, because Mr. Rodriguez Acosta was involved in a motor vehicle wreck.
Mm-hmm.
He lives up in Clayton County area, works up there. He comes to Moultrie on the weekends. His family home is in Moultrie. Basically where this interchange happened, the vehicle coming toward him, he thought was in the wrong lane. And so he swerved to miss the vehicle and the vehicle swerved too, and they collided. So that's basically what happened. And I've been communicating with the insurance company for the other driver because we've been at loggerheads on who's actually at fault, because we think the other vehicle may have had some involvement in that also. Nonetheless, Judge, there was no citation issued to Mr. Acosta when this happened. And Mr. Acosta, I had been trying to determine if he was going to be cited. Nobody could confirm anything. And then Mr. Acosta gets arrested when he's in Moultrie, Georgia, visiting his family on the weekend, because apparently the investigator decided to take out a warrant and didn't really tell anybody. And he gets arrested, and he's been sitting in jail now for about a week. Yeah, I know. This is really, really bad. And I mean, I'm almost thinking instead of having him really post a bond, I think he ought to be able to do an OR. I mean, he shouldn't have even been arrested on a Title 40 non-DUI charge, non-reckless, I mean, it's not arrestable, basically. So,
well, I mean, anything is arrestable, but this is the first time I've seen a warrant taken out for a failure to maintain lane. It looks like the warrant was sworn out on August 20th.
Right.
Of 2020.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So the problem that we'll have, Mr. Weathers, is that for me to get approval for this to be an OR, I have to speak to my chief, who's doing temporary protective orders right now. So
Yes,
he
sir.
actually will spend more time in jail than if he actually posted a bond than for me getting an answer.
I know. He can post it.
Okay.
He can post it.
So he has a preliminary hearing date that's set for May 18th, but that date will get waived upon his bonding out and he'll get a new court date in the mail.
Yes, sir.
So it does seem strange to me because this is something that could have been cited.
Exactly. And be honest, I spoke with the investigator and I even said to him, I mean, I spoke with our sheriff here in Colquitt that was holding him in the jail. And it's like our sheriff said, just call and tell the investigator that we've got him here and that if he'll just send the citation to him by certified mail and send us something saying he'll do that, we'll let him go.
Right.
And the investigator said, no, I'm not doing that. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I know.
I wish I could do more.
I
but
appreciate it.
yeah. So, Mr. Rodriguez Acosta, your lawyer is going to handle this. This is an offense that you can bond out on. And I'm sorry that you've had to sit in jail for this amount of time. Is there anything else, Mr. Weathers?
No, Your Honor. I'll how do you want bond to be made?
I have a bond order already prepared, so
Good.
and this is one that's set by schedule, so it actually is already in the system,
Okay.
in the sheriff's department, so he can just bond out now if he wants to.
Does he need to have the 500 cash on him?
Well, at one point, the bonding companies would not write a bond less than $1,000.
Right.
And I don't know if that's still the case, but if he has the 500 on him, that'll actually save him where
Right.
he can pay that money and he'll get all of it back.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna Mr. Costa, do you have the $500 on you?
No,
Yes,
Get somebody to bill them, you know?
you do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Post that 500 at the jail where you are now. Tell them you're gonna pay the 500 and you'll get out
All right.
now, today. Okay? Okay. Judge, he's gonna go ahead. So he can do that as soon as we get off the phone or off the screen.
Yes, sir. They will take him back down and he can start that process.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day, Mr. Weathers.
You too. Thank y'all.
Okay.
Bye now.
Goodbye.
Move from the order.
I'm sorry, tell me your last name again, sir.
Davis.
Davis. Okay, Mr. Davis, you're charged with one count of terroristic threats. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond, a stay away from Lakeisha Ogletree and Nathaniel Ogletree. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Davis. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir, that's all.
Okay, you're free to go back. Good morning. Tell me your name, sir. Mr. Douglas, you're charged with 2 counts of theft by taking, and these are listed as felony amounts. You're going to have a bond set at $5,000 for each count for a total bond of $10,000. You believe you can post that bond? Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You do qualify, Mr. Douglas. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Harris, you're charged with a number of offenses. Aggravated assault by strangulation, family violence, battery, theft by taking, loitering or prowling, theft by receiving stolen property, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The bond is going to be denied on the aggravated assault by strangulation and the possession of firearm by a convicted felon. At this time, I've set a $5,000 bond for the battery, family violence, $2,000 bond for theft by taking, $1,000 bond for loitering or prowling, and $2,000 bond for theft by receiving stolen property. You're going to have a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Jasmine Lasha Rivers. Do you understand that?
I just don't understand how someone could just say I did something, I didn't. Like, no, like I have neighbors saying that I wasn't even, like all I was doing was moving property. That's it. Putting her stuff out of my room. That's it.
Okay, so do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? All right, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. That's something that you're gonna need to tell your lawyer so the lawyer can defend you. Because these are felony offenses, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning, and I'm also setting a bond hearing date for May 21st at 8:30 in the morning. Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Harris?
At this point, I was wanting to know, like, about the witness situation. Like,
Okay, so you have warrants that were pending, and give me a second. The warrants were issued on May 25th. And that's the date that they're saying that you allegedly choked Miss Rivers.
May 25th?
Yes, sir. The other 4 charges, the loitering or prowling, theft by receiving stolen property, possession of firearm by, or 3, possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Those are based upon your arrest last night. So you were arrested last night on the loitering or prowling, theft by receiving stolen property, and possession of firearm by a convicted felon. And then these warrants were pending. So that's where you have the 3 separate charges: theft by taking, the battery, and aggravated assault by strangulation.
That's what I'm not understanding. If I didn't touch anyone, how do I have an aggravated assault strangulation charge? Because I left and I called.
So you're saying basically that you're not guilty of this, correct?
Right.
So at this stage, these are allegations.
Yes.
That's why we appoint lawyers as quickly as possible so the lawyers can assist you. What I would suggest is that you speak to the lawyer so that the lawyer can get these witness statements that you're referring to, and they can share that information with the district attorney's office, and that will assist you in getting out.
I'm just not understanding it at all. Like I just woke up with charges.
Okay. Is there anything else, Mr. Harris?
No, sir. Did I get a lawyer?
I'm sorry?
Did I get a lawyer, sir?
Yes, I appointed you a lawyer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go back. Are you Mr. Henderson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by taking. The bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir, but the problem I'm having, sir, my wife has spoke with some of the bonding companies, and they want 2 check stubs and a W-2. Most of the people I know, sir, we all on SSI, disability. I don't have nobody to show that paperwork. The only kind of way so I can sign out and sign my bond or my card, I don't have no one with a check stub, sir. We all on SSI. And the bonding company is sticking to the 2 check stubs and the W-2 form. And it's hard for those people to get the W-2 form. My wife been trying since last night. And the only thing the bond company did was lower the percentage of the bond to get me out, sir. They still wanted the 2 check stubs, and me and her both is on SSI. My sister is on SSI. My son, he's in a wheelchair, sir. I just don't have, my father is 90 years old. And he's a pastor of a church. He don't have a regular job. Oh, I'm sorry. I was telling him about the court. I'm sorry.
So, Mr. Henderson, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Henderson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And I would keep contacting the bonding companies because I've not heard of that particular issue that you're having before. So I believe that you'll find somebody that'll be able to assist you. Okay?
All right.
All right, you're free to go back. Okay, Mr. Howard, you've been charged with 7 different offenses. Do you want me to read them out to you, or do you want me to just tell you your total bond?
You can read them out to me, please.
Okay, you have a window tint violation. The bond is going to be set at $500 for that. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The bond is going to be set at $1,500 for that. Another violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of MDMA, ecstasy. The bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that. Possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, bond is going to be set at $5,000. Possession of or use of drug-related objects, the bond is set at $1,500. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon, the bond is set at $5,000. And another violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, the bond is set at $5,000, and that's possession of THC oil. So you're gonna have a total bond of $23,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
The charge was being convicted of felon. I never been convicted of felon.
Straight ahead, look straight ahead.
Okay. Would you like for me to look that up?
Please. Thank you so much.
It says on the warrant that it's out of Fulton County.
A warrant?
Well, the warrant, when they arrest you, is called a warrantless arrest affidavit, but it says that the conviction is out of Fulton County. I can tell you exactly what it is.
I take that.
I'm out on bail. I've never been convicted.
Oh,
I shouldn't even have a warrant on me.
The aggravated assault. Is that what you're out on bail for?
Yes, sir.
From August of 2010?
Yes, 2020.
I'm sorry, 2020. Yes, sir. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do, Mr. Howard. I have to send this paperwork back. I'm going to look this up and see whether the being on bond counts. And if it doesn't count, I'll deny that possession of firearm charge. So you'll have a total bond of $17,000.
Okay, and how long would that process take?
Well, the longer I'm on here, the longer it takes. But when I'm done with this hearing, I will look it up. And they can't enter any information until I complete the paperwork and send it back. So if I find that this possession of firearm by a convicted felon charge was improperly placed, I will deny that charge and your bond will be $5,000 lower. If I find that it is properly placed, then it'll remain and your bond will be $23,000. Okay?
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, Mr. Howard. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You currently have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Look straight ahead, look straight ahead.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of improper solicitation of money and 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects. You're gonna have a total bond set at $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I don't have, I'm on SSI.
Okay. Do you want me to appoint, is it okay for me to appoint a lawyer for you, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to appoint a lawyer for you. You're going to have a court date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you have anyone that you can contact that can assist you in getting out of jail?
My mom is the only one that I have in my life.
Okay, so when we're done, I'm gonna ask one of the deputies to assist you in getting in contact with your mom so that she can assist you in getting out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir, no.
Mr. Jones, you're charged with 1 count of obstructing or hindering a law enforcement officer. The bond is gonna be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Jones. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Appreciate it.
Are you Mr. Newell?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of trafficking marijuana, 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, and 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects. You're gonna have a total bond set at $26,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry? Okay. Do you plan on hiring your own lawyer representing yourself, or do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry?
I thought my lawyer was supposed to be here today. I'm shocked he's not.
Who's your lawyer?
Leon Hicks.
Tell Ms. Hicks that you have a preliminary hearing date set for May 19th.
May 19th or May 18th?
May 19th. This is a felony. May 18th is for the misdemeanors. So I'm going to put that you have hired your own lawyer. Do you have any questions of me, sir? You said no?
Yes, sir. I can bond out as soon as possible, right?
I'm sorry?
I'm able to bond out as soon as possible.
Yes, so when I finish this hearing, I prepare the paperwork, I send it back to the sheriff's department, and then they start processing the information. So you should be able to bond out today.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mr. Nicholson? Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of simple assault, set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You say yes? Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Rhonda Newton. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 18th, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't have any questions for me, sir, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
Julius Priest.
Okay, sir, I am not authorized to set a bond for these charges. Do you know what you've been charged with?
No, sir.
Okay, you've been charged with 1 count of murder, 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, 1 count of motor vehicle hijacking, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. As I said before, I cannot set bond on these offenses at this hearing. So I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for you for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to also set a bond hearing date for May 21st at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir, I got some. When were these charges put out on me? I've been locked up for a couple of months now.
Okay. These warrants were obtained yesterday, and it's for an incident that allegedly took place on October 22nd and 2018. And it said it was Wilson Road, Osborne Court in Jonesboro. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Priest. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Any more questions from me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Payne?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Payne, you're charged with 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're going to have a total bond set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes,
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Payne. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are you Mr. Rochelle? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I'm setting the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
With the help of a bonding agency, I believe I have the percentage of the money.
Okay. You're gonna have a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Angela Pitts. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your preliminary hearing date is gonna be set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You do qualify, Mr. Rochelle. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, I don't think.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hi, you Mr. Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thomas, you're charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. The bond is automatically set by schedule for this at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You said no?
No.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Thomas. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived if you're able to bond out. I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies here because they will work with you, okay?
Okay.
All right, you're free to go back, sir.
I'm from out of state, so like I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I don't have like an ID or any identification on me. Due to that, will I be able to can I possibly still use like a bonding agency since I am from out of state?
That will make it a little bit more difficult. What you can do is contact a friend or relative in Texas, and sometimes the bonding companies will work together. So if you make the arrangements in Texas, they'll contact a bonding company here and they'll basically partner up to assist in your getting out.
Oh, how cool. Okay, great.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
I'll let my mom know that. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
How you doing? My name is Jim Williams.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, I just got to get myself organized. Mr. Williams, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've placed the bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 18th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Thank you, sir, so much.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Okay, Mr. Burdine, we're gonna try this a little bit differently, okay? Bond has been denied on the trafficking charge and on the prostitution and pimping charge. I've set a $1,500 bond on the possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for May 19th at 8:30 in the morning. You're gonna also have a bond hearing date set for May 21st. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor, but I would like to make.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you speak. All right, you do qualify. I'm appointing a lawyer to represent you. So what is it you want to tell me, Mr. Burdine?
I do not. I still don't understand the charges that are being pressed against me.
Okay, I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. So the lawyer can explain to you what pimping is and what prostitution is. I cannot believe that a person that has a child does not understand the concept of getting paid to have sex with somebody.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I'm pretty sure the lawyer will say the same thing you're saying, and I won't understand that as well. Like, I'm just a kid. I'm only 22. You see what I'm saying? So I don't deal with that type of stuff. I never dealt with that type of stuff before. I wasn't exposed to any of that. So I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not sure why is it so surprising that a 22-year-old kid doesn't know what prostitution and human sex trafficking is. I'm pretty sure you know because you had multiple cases. But I don't. I'm just a kid. I'm only 22. I used to work until all this stuff started happening. So I don't understand the charges, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Burdine, I have a whole written out. I think your charges are more than 50 pages worth of material here. And what's in the information is that you told the detective that you knew that this person was under the age of 17. or that this person was a minor, that you helped to arrange for this person to travel from her home and leave her family in Michigan and travel down to Georgia, that you knew that her and Miss Stevens were engaging in sex acts or activities, but you told the detective that that was Miss Stevens that was doing that and you were going to work. That's what the detective said. And so this is not the time to convict you of anything, right? So I believe that I have satisfied myself that you understand enough.
I don't understand. I don't understand any of it. It's your job to make sure I understand, Your Honor, and I don't understand it. So I'm not, you can't
So
make it.
how long have you been in custody?
I just got here yesterday. They arrested me yesterday. And I know this is not for me to tell you, but I never told the detectives that it was her that did anything. And
Okay. Well, they probably was recording the whole interaction, and you'll get that information with you and your lawyer. So you and your lawyer would know whether you said anything to them or not, but they're saying that you said this to them. And I can read it to you if you want me to. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yes, can you read me what it says?
All right. It says on February 16th at approximately 9:33 in the morning, Clayton County Police Department responded to Building 6, Apartment 6B, Old Mill Court, College Park, in reference to a property check. Upon arrival, Clayton County police officers made contact with Kevin Mitchell, who advised that he is the father of Denitria Mitchell, who left their residence in Caledonia, Michigan. Mr. Mitchell advised that he had been in contact with his local police agency, Kent County PD in Michigan, and detectives were able to obtain a search warrant for Denitria's Facebook page. Detectives tracked her to your location and learned that she received a Greyhound bus ticket and traveled from Michigan to Clayton County to meet with an older male. Kent County Police Department was able to provide a possible location as to where she was. He was then able to drive to your apartment and message Denitria via Facebook and observed her walk out of the address. They were able to speak with Denitria, who advised that she was being sex trafficked and requested to return home. She said that Dennis Burdine had been taking pictures of her and using the pictures as advertisements for sexual intercourse and other sexual favors with unknown men. She also advised that there is a female at this residence who is the recruiter for young girls to be pimped out by Mr. Burdine. Mitchell was showing as a missing person out of Grand Rapids, Michigan on NCIC. Do you want me to keep reading?
Sure, Your Honor, you can keep reading.
Denitria had advised that she would perform sexual favors and acts for unknown men in exchange for money at this location. The money then will be received by Dennis Burdine, and she would receive a share. She also advised that a Black female named LaQuita Stevenson, is a bottom B, also known as a recruiter for other girls, and Dennis is a pimp, and he is in charge of arranging the sexual favors in exchange for money. Denitria advised the setups and meetings were conducted through computers, cell phones, and some unknown websites. She advised that there are several photographs, recordings, advertisements, messages, and charge rates for those sexual acts within these electronic communication devices. She advised that several advertisements were posted online. Clayton County police officers attempted to make contact with Dennis, to which he barricaded himself inside of the apartment. Dennis is currently has arrest warrants out of Union County, Michigan for failure to appear, and Clayton County, Georgia for felony interference with custody. Dennis recorded himself on Facebook Live during the barricaded situation, making several references that the victim was 17 years old. After a near 2-hour standoff with Clayton County negotiators, Dennis and Stevenson did exit the apartment. Both were detained. A search warrant was obtained for the residence and executed on February 16, 2021 by this detective, Detective M. Cooper. Electronic communications devices, recording devices, media storage devices, computers, money, marijuana, and a firearm were collected at the scene. The apartment did have a large bed in the living room near the front door. Upstairs was an additional bed with red lighting, professional grade lights for photography, handcuffs for sex, sex toys, and condoms. Photographs were also taken of the scene. Burdine and Stevenson were taken into custody for interference with custody and marijuana. Additional search warrants for these devices were obtained. The devices are in the process of analysis. However, no evidence of child pornography has been located. However, there is evidence of child erotica of the victim.
What is child erotica of the victim?
Basically, freaky stuff. Freaky pictures of Miss Mitchell in lingerie, different poses, kissing Miss Stevenson. There are also messages containing prices for sexual favors, meeting locations in Clayton County, including the address where you were living, and evidence that the bus ticket was purchased by you for Miss Mitchell. Sexual favors in exchange for money is located on all 3 cell phones collected from the scene. The computer seized did appear to have the digital hard drive corrupted or tampered. Clayton County forensic analysis were unable to gain access to the computer seized. A medical examination was conducted of the victim, and they did find evidence of sexual intercourse. She moved back home. On February 22nd, at approximately 12 o'clock, Detective Cooper and Detective Joseph spoke with Dennis Burdine, who advised that he voluntarily requested to speak with detectives in reference to this case. He explained that the victim did come to Georgia voluntarily and she was not kidnapped. He denied all allegations of pimping or sex trafficking. He also stated that he did purchase a bus ticket for her to come to Georgia and did have knowledge that she was 17 years old. He advised that his girlfriend, Laquita Stevenson, has escorts to which she charges people to spend time with her or would give massages. He stated that he does not know what Stevenson or Mitchell have done while he was gone at work most of the time. Do you want me to read further?
Sure, Your Honor, you can keep reading.
An interview was conducted with the victim. She disclosed that she did receive a bus ticket to Georgia in hopes to live with you and to make money. She advised that when she came to Georgia, she was told to have sex with different men on the bed downstairs. She advised that Burdine had Stevenson show her how to make arrangements and recruit other girls. She also advised that when she wanted to stop, Burdine had told her that Stevenson would beat her if she decided to not do what was asked. She advised that she has performed sexual favors and intercourse with different men and Stevenson, and Burdine would post advertisements with prices for sexual favors for her and Stevenson. Mitchell advised that she did consume alcohol and marijuana provided by you. Mitchell advised that she would collect the money, then give majority, sometimes all, to you.
How soon can I talk to the lawyer?
I don't know.
Did you appoint me one?
I did.
Is it he or she?
I have no idea.
I have the name of the lawyer?
It's the Clayton County Public Defender's Office.
Is there any way they can contact me or I have to contact them? How does that work?
I'm sure they have the number at the jail.
Who would I get that number from?
Ask one of the deputies.
So I asked the deputy for the number of my lawyer.
Listen, you have been appointed the Clayton County Public Defender's Office. They have a process where they will reach out to you. If they're unable to reach out to you to your liking, you can try to obtain that number, but I'm certain that you can get that information.
Is there any more that you can read?
No.
That's everything?
Your Honor, Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I get, when his attorney come, if the attorney asked him, if the attorney haven't got with him by Monday, then he can get one, I tell one of the officers to make sure he can call.
Okay.
Last thing I would like to say before we end this.
Yes, sir, Mr. Burdine.
Thank you for all the information you just told me, and I would like to make note that I do not understand what pimping and prostitution is. I do not understand what human sex trafficking is. And I stand
So
by
you at least know the allegations against you, correct?
the allegations. I don't understand the allegations as well because
I didn't ask if you understood. You heard the words coming out of my mouth, correct?
the allegations.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed, Your Honor. I heard every single word that you said.
Okay. So, Mr. Burdine, you're really gonna need to speak to your lawyer because I don't think that you understand how you're coming off. And I'm certain, based upon what they said, that there are a ton of pictures and there are a ton of communications, that it would probably be best for you to just remain quiet until you get all of the information that you need and then start making statements.
Yeah, I haven't made a statement yet. I'm just asking questions.
Well, you have, unfortunately.
What statement?
You
did I
have.
make?
Okay, Your
Your
Honor,
Honor,
we'll
can I ask him a statement?
now we do for today. That's your attorney. You gotta talk to your attorney.
Okay.
Have a good day, Mr. Burdine. Deputy, let me check just to make sure. Because I didn't do it yesterday, and I'm gonna have to do an order on Mr. I think it was Fleets Garcia, who's in the hospital. It's from yesterday. I received word today. Is Carl White OTB?
Carl White.
Excuse me, sir. I don't have any.
Yes, he OTB.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all that I have. Thank you for your patience.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
You too.